Once you become knowledgeable about the scriptures, or even more so about who we all are, you could say that outside the Bible, how we're connected, then you'll understand we have to get ourselves together and understand that there is a enemy out there playing chess with us, and we're worried about names that they gave us. Let me show you something real quick, just so you understand. I queried, because I saw this a while ago, and I queried here, why did the Trump administration talk to African countries about detention facilities? I know you guys remember they were trying to buy up places and set up all these detention centers. I'm paying attention. Why did Trump talk to African countries about detention facilities? And then it said, read it right there. It says, the Trump administration talked to African countries to establish third country deportation and detention arrangement. They pursued these deals to bypass legal, because they don't want to do anything legally, or practical blocks on returning certain non-citizens to their homes and countries, expedite large-scale deportations, and reduce the numbers of asylum seekers inside the United States. And it says what the drivers and objections are. Bypassing removal barriers. Under U.S. immigration law, the Department of Homeland Security can deport individuals to a third country when returning them to their home nation is impossible, impractical, or barred due to safety fears. Now, some of you will read that and you'll say, well, that ain't us. That's not the Americans. They're talking about non-citizens. They're talking about Haitians and people that are not us. Let me show you something else. Let me show you what else your boy's talking about that you're not paying attention to. I queried, did Donald Trump say that he wanted to start deporting U.S. citizens? And it said yes. President Trump has repeatedly floated the idea of deporting U.S. citizens who commit violent crimes. Now, you understand what they say. We're 15% of the population and 50+% of the crimes committed. They'll try to tell you that you committed violent crimes. So guess what? He's trying to say if you commit a violent crime, no matter if you're an American citizen or not, they can deport your ass across the water to a country you've never been to, and has directed his administration to investigate the legality of doing so. White House officials clarified that the administration is actively looking for a legal pathway to deport citizens. But you think my video didn't pertain to you. Why do you think he's talking about African countries? Why do you think he's talking to African countries? It ain't just for Haitians or even Liberians or Nigerians or wherever else in Africa, South Africans, whatever it is. These are countries with basically no governments that are worth a shit. And they're going to send us over there to them, and we're not even from there. Floating deportations for homegrown criminals, targeting violent offenders. Do I need to read that? I will. Trump has publicly stated he would love to deport what he terms homegrown criminals, U.S. citizens who commit heinous or violent acts. And that's subjective. If you pop somebody upside the head for calling you the N-word, which you shouldn't, but if they do, that could be a violent act, and your ass could you could be sent to Uganda for some goddamn reason, and you ain't never, as a black person, African American, FBA, or Israelite, been to Uganda in your life, to a prison. Utilizing foreign prisons, he explicitly proposed detaining these U.S. citizens and sending them to high security prison complexes in El Salvador. That's for our Hispanic brothers. They're on the chart too. It says, acknowledging legal barriers, Trump admitted he does not know if deporting U.S. citizens is legally permissible under current law. At this particular time, no. But it says, stating, if we had the legal right to do it, I would do it in a heartbeat. And you can look under each one of those paragraphs there. You can look this up. This is just not me talking. This isn't me fear-mongering. This is what they said. They talked about this in the news. The path through denaturalization. While the U.S. Constitution and existing immigration laws strictly prohibit the deportation of U.S. citizens, the Trump administration has aggressively expanded a separate legal process to strip citizenship from certain individuals. It says denaturalization crackdown. The Department of Justice launched an unprecedented large-scale initiative to revoke the citizenship of foreign-born naturalized U.S. citizens. Now, you're going to say, well, that's them. Those are those people that are only 1 or 2 generations deep. I did a video on this a couple of months ago. All they have to do is change the moniker of what we are here as African Americans, FBAs, or whatever you want to call yourself, forced immigrant. That's all they have to do. And they'll end up trying to send you back to whatever country they think. They don't care, because all of Africa is nigger to them anyway. Let me explain something to you. If they can sit back and say whatever they want to say about us and say we're the most violent, we commit most of the crimes, we do all of these things, We are just pieces of shit. If they can do that, they can strip you of your citizenship. They can banish you. They can banish you from this country, just like they've done in other places, in other times. I see this Haitian ankle monitor thing as a dry run, a litmus test, testing how people would actually feel about it if they just started shipping us out of here. And all they got to do is make up a couple of rules saying, you're not from here, really. You're slaves. You're descendants of slaves, so you're an immigrant. You're a forced immigrant. Now we've set you up. Now you got to get the hell up out of here. You're sadly mistaken if you're not thinking they're not. And if you don't believe that, if you believe that the Constitution is going to save you, going to save us, then you don't understand the world and you don't understand history or prophecy. You're not supposed to sit back and be a victim. You're not supposed to do that. You're supposed to fight by any means necessary to do what you have to do to protect your family and what you've built as Israelites, as FBAs, as even, I would say, like some of the third or fourth generation immigrants.